Okay, welcome to Mission Over Mood podcast. I'm your host, Kay. Here we talk about people who choose purpose over pressure, drive over drama, and mission over mood. Whether they're in the spotlight or behind the scenes, our guests are all in on what matters most. Let's get into today's conversation. So, welcome, Miss Nina, to our podcast today. How you doing?
I am good this morning. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just had a long day so far. So that's what I'm going through. So today we have you on a podcast, and I just wanted to ask you a few questions. Well, not a few, but some questions about your life and your working life and things like that. And I wanted to start by asking you um what originally put it on your heart to serve others the way that you do?
Mm, I think it comes from the way I was raised. We was raised in, I'm gonna say with the long dresses, going to church, then there 6, 7 days a week.
Yeah, I
Uh,
remember that every
so
Sunday.
yes, didn't miss a Sunday. Yes,
And you better not
Saturday.
go to sleep.
Oh, we couldn't go to sleep. That was a pinch right there.
Oh,
And
behind your arm.
oh, that was one of the mean ones right there. That was mean. That was the real mean, the old women's in there doing that. But I know Saturdays we went out, we got up and did our Saturday events. And we
Okay.
was in the house about before the street lights came on. So
Mm-hmm.
morning my mother had all the clothes laid out with our socks
Mm-hmm.
and hair was done. Because you remember back then they used to press our hair. So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
had a little burns behind the ear. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So so at this moment, so yeah, that's what think what made me serve. And at that
Mm-hmm.
time, I think going to church was a beautiful thing.
Right.
It never broke it down when we was going. It was just more fear God, just
Yeah.
fear,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
to love him, but to fear him.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
after a while, when you fear something, you're like, you know what? I don't care no more. I'm gonna do me now.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Exactly.
never taught us to love him. They just taught us to fear him. And
Right. Okay.
so, but other than that, just the
Mm-hmm.
serve, that was the best part. And I had 10 brothers and sisters. So, if one was finna get jumped, we all was finna get jumped. So it was like a
Right.
so that
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So just having a large family, that was the serve right there.
Right, right, right. So, you had such a large family, and it seems like to me that you've been such like a stronghold. So, how do you stay strong when you're constantly the one pouring into other people?
Well, I'm gonna say, well, back then, I'm at an age now that I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm gonna say probably back then it was probably didn't look at it as strength. I was
Mm-hmm.
as a people pleaser. So they're
Mm,
like that. I was a people pleaser. I had
right.
just to please somebody just to be their friends or please somebody just to be in a clique.
And
I
their
was
presence, yeah.
yes, I was
Mm-hmm.
losing, didn't even know I was losing my identity doing it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I was picking up everybody else's identity, but not my identity. And sometimes when you don't know you was doing that, that's when you get heartbreak, rejection,
Mm-hmm.
you get bitter, you get angry,
Exactly.
you just ball that in. So it comes, then that's when that strength comes like, oh, I'm not gonna let nobody else do that to me, or I'm gonna fight. Or I always been the
Mm-hmm.
one that if I knew somebody was bullying me, hurting me, I knew how that felt, and I see somebody else.
Right.
That
Mm-hmm.
that's where that fight come from,
Exactly. Yep.
or seeing what my father did to my mother. So that was a fight
Right,
there too.
right. So how did, seeing the things that your father and mother went through, did that cause any later on trauma or overtime trauma within you and your relationships or relationships with your kids? How did that affect that?
It affect everything. It affect
Mm-hmm.
my relationship with a man. It
Mm-hmm.
affect my relationship with my
Mm-hmm.
kid.
Mm-hmm.
yelling, thinking it was,
Mm-hmm.
and if it wasn't yelling, I'm finna bless you. Put my
Real
hand
nice, real nice.
real nice. No if buts about it. It was always saying that, what was their favorite word? It's my way or no way. So
Yep.
that did kind of,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that was my household.
It
But
helped you spew
it
that out on
wasn't.
your kids.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and now that I'm older now and I have,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes life situations will put you in a situation that you could get stuck or you can grow from it.
Yes, yes, yes.
And each situation I've been in, I had to grow from it to the point I grew so bad because I was married before an early age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Think it was love, but I really was marrying my father.
Wow, that's deep.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I married my father. I thought that was love, but it was marrying my father. And
Right,
that
right.
didn't last long. That didn't last
Mm-hmm.
long. So I was so angry and bitter at that. So I never knew how to deal with my emotion because most Black Americans, our parents don't teach us how to deal with our emotions.
Right, yeah. Do you think it's because they didn't know how to deal with their emotions, so they're kind of
Yeah,
teaching you what
so
they
I
know?
can't be mad at them because I just feel like each
Mm-hmm.
generation that God created in
Mm-hmm.
your family, there's
Mm-hmm.
always somebody in that family to break the bloodline curses.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
And some of them, they was too afraid or they didn't understand, or if they did understand,
Mm.
trying to tell somebody about it, somebody already shut them down.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
I
now they
just
don't mention it again.
they don't mention it again. They don't mention it
Mm-hmm.
again. So God had to still have to go on because it had to hit one of these generations. So I
Right,
feel like
right.
it hit me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I was the generation break for my family.
Right,
But he had
exactly.
to separate me to see that. Didn't know
Exactly.
that, but he had to
Mm-hmm.
separate me to see that.
Because you would have never saw that. You would have never
I
saw,
never
and
saw that.
even if you did see it, you would have been shut down.
Oh, I did get shut down plenty of times.
Oh wow, okay.
I shut
Okay.
down plenty of times because I used like, this ain't what's up. This ain't my life.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't
Mm-hmm.
this ain't my routine.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't, you know,
Mm-hmm.
being rejected, being
Right. Mm-hmm.
that word rejected does a lot to people, and people
Oh
don't know that
yes.
because they're
Yes.
rejected. If you don't deal with that, you suppress it.
Man, yeah. And
You
then the
suppress
moment that you uh experience something that looks like that rejection, you have these lash outs or these bursts of like
it's
not
like
even anger, it's like hurt. Like, how
yeah,
dare you? You know?
this man did this girl did it to me. I don't trust you. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you start seeing familiar ways with people that
Mm,
make you feel some type of way. So you bring that walk. It sometimes you be like, oh girl, that don't even bother me no more. But something triggers it
hmm.
to bring that emotion back.
Right, right.
And I can't say it's a bad thing, but I'm gonna say it's a good thing because that's letting you know that the father is telling you you got to deal with that now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's time to deal with that.
You said something about earlier, you said familiar. So I heard of something called a familiar spirit. Do you think sometimes we as people bring in those familiar spirits when we are dealing with our trauma?
For me, your spirit's gonna always follow us. I don't care where you go.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
I don't care where you go, unless you addressed it. You
Right.
have to
Okay.
address it. You have
Hmm.
to you have to address those familiar spirits because
Hmm.
since day one, we always had a monitoring spirit watching over us.
Yeah, yeah.
Day one.
Hmm.
That monitoring spirit, he take notes of us.
Hmm. Yeah.
Take notes. They
Oh, that's
take
like in Adam and Eve when he took note that God had told them not to eat from a certain tree. He was that
yes,
monitoring spirit.
he was that monitoring spirit, but he switched E words around. He switched
Mm-hmm.
he switched the father words around
Mm-hmm.
and made E like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Okay, yeah. So we
Mm-hmm.
have those familiar spirits and monitoring spirits that watch us and watch what trigger us, what
Yep.
make us sad. And then
Mm-hmm.
they sometimes I feel like it plant in us when we little. So that's when
That's
I was like,
true. Yeah.
the rejection started with my father.
Mm-hmm.
The abandonment started with my father. The Like I said, I had a
Hmm.
great childhood, but that word love was never in the household like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like our parents' way of love was, I know for me anyway, was buying us things or making sure
That
we're
was mine
eating,
too. Yes, yes.
that, but we needed so much more far as physical affection. Give me a kiss, give me a hug, send me off to school, listen to my problems, even if you feel like it's unimportant to you or you got so much going on, I needed to vent to you. But they were so wrapped up in being busy in their relationships or with their girlfriends or guy friends, and
It was
I
10 of
see
us.
that.
She didn't have time. She didn't have time. She
Yeah,
had to work.
yeah, yeah.
So it was never a mother and daughter. Let me sit down and tell you about these boys.
Mm, right.
All it was, God, God, God. And I now that I'm older, I really appreciate
Mm-hmm.
that star. But at the same
Mm,
time, I wish it was more, like I said, they put the fear of God, not the love of God in us.
right.
They
Yeah,
would have put the love of God in us as we was
yeah.
growing.
Because
But
fear will make you do things out of fear.
that's what it
Let's say you fornicate or something like that, and you like, oh my God, God is gonna get me. Like you are so down bad on yourself instead of like, you know
was.
what, God,
Sometimes
I
you do
messed
think
up.
about God gonna get you.
Yeah, you do.
You
I
don't.
think yeah, you don't. Yeah, I was gonna
You
say I do, but you don't think about that. You be like, you know what,
don't
forget
think
it,
about
because it's so overwhelming with putting fear in me about it. It's like,
it. It's
oh
to
my
me
God.
like if I'm going to hell, I'm gonna go to hell. So let's just do it.
Yeah,
It's
that's what.
like that
Yeah.
Tyler Perry movie,
Hmm.
Temptation, where her
Yeah.
mother was like, he's the devil, whatever. She's like, well, mama, I'm gonna ride until the wheels fall off.
Right.
Even
That's
for
true.
those type of moments.
Hmm.
But his grace and mercy, when he knows a calling on your life, he lets you go out there. He lets you go out there. It's like he got a chain on you.
Hmm.
He lets you go out a little too far, but eventually he's yanking that
They're gonna
chain back.
reel you back in.
He's gonna rear you back in.
Hmm.
He's gonna reel you back in. And it's a season to that one.
Mm.
Now I just feel like now I'm adult now. I'm a
Hmm.
parent now. I'm a grandmother.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
congratulations.
thank you.
Hmm.
Now I used to hear everybody say, "Oh, it's grandma this, grandma." I'm like, "Oh, my kids ain't gonna have kids." But now that my
Hmm.
child had a child, oh, I love my grandbaby better than my kids sometimes.
Man, for real. You can
And
send
it's a
them.
difference.
You can send them home. That's the difference.
It's so easy, or you can go there and wake them up and leave again.
There you go. Exactly.
So that's the best. That is the best part. So now
Hmm.
that I'm older now, mature now, and I just like um you know now it is like now I see things for
Hmm.
what it is now.
Right.
I
Hmm.
see where the seed was that my mother put in us is sprouting now.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
see where the weed at. So I
Hmm.
can't, I don't know. Now, you know how it's in the Bible that the weed, it came out at night and somebody add weed to the field. So
Hmm.
he woke up this morning like, what is this? He didn't know how to cut the weed from the good. So he had
Hmm.
to just let it wiggle. It's like basically you gotta wiggle yourself out of it, find out what's good and what's
Hmm.
bad and find out what you need to work on in life. Well,
Hmm.
sometimes the same thing show itself again. It never changed.
Yeah, in a different way. Yeah.
Different way.
And it might even
It
be a different person. You like, oh, you don't catch it at first. You're like, oh, hold on. This is something I already been through, you know?
Yes, that's why you always got to be watchful, be on alert nowadays. You got to be on alert with just everything, even with yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta don't talk too fast. Let a person talk. Listen. Like, oh,
Hmm.
okay. But if you
Hmm.
don't have the answer at that moment, just don't agree. Just like, let me
Right.
think about that.
Let me get back with you, like on a job interview. Let me get back with
Get
you.
back. Even with an argument. Like,
Hmm.
what? I'm gonna get back at you with that argument because I can say
Hmm.
at this moment, but let me think about what you said to me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
And it's a lot. And you know what? I just thank God this season that he didn't forsake me. He didn't leave me.
Mm. So can you share a moment with us where you felt God's presence working through you?
I'm gonna say 2 or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I normally get my oldest son because he was staying with his father at the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He had come for the summertime with me, and I seen something. Like at that time, I was still, I'm gonna say I was still. I don't want to say baby in Christ, but
Mm-hmm.
I was in a season.
Of
God still
learning. Mm-hmm.
Goo Goo Gaga prayer with him.
Yeah.
The Goo Goo
Mm-hmm.
Gaga. Yeah, I was
You're
doing a
not
Goo
coming
Goo.
to him on nothing real. You coming to him
No,
about
no, not nothing real, just goo goo gaga prayers. So he
mm-hmm.
he let me slide on those goo goo gaga prayers because
Okay.
we always keep our father in the box, and he's better
Right.
than that.
Mm-hmm.
So he let me like, okay, you want to keep me in the box? You can keep with those goo goo gaga prayers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But this time when my son came, I seen something, and it used to flare me up to the point I started being disrespectful. Oh,
Okay.
so disrespectful
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
towards him. And to the point I got physical this time because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like so I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that temper came from my father because when we
Mm.
if we didn't listen or if my mother
Generational.
listened,
Mm-hmm.
it was generation because his father did the same thing to his father did.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
we if we feel like a person wasn't listening, we finna put our hands on you. And once we
Mm-hmm.
put our hands on you, we know you finna listen now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so this time I put my hands on him. And it was like one of those little notch, not okay, you put your hands on me. Okay, and I'm
Like
gonna go
now
back.
what? Yeah.
Yeah. So I sent him off to back to his daddy. I called his daddy and just told his daddy what I felt,
Mm-hmm.
how that hurted my emotion. And as I'm telling him, is they're like, oh, just like waving me off, like whatever. And what I seen with my son, I was like, he's disrespectful. He have no respect for me. And if he don't have respect for me as his mother, he won't have a respect for women's.
That's right. Yeah.
And most girls, we don't look at that with our child.
Man. We don't look at that when it come to dating a man, period.
No, we don't ask those questions. What's your relationship with your mama?
Oh, that's my number one question now.
What? And then you can laugh, but I must and me
I must analyze you.
observe it. I'm observe you.
Yeah, yeah.
Observe you. Are you tender with my fiddle? Can I give
Mm-hmm.
you my heart like a precious egg? Because if you're going to
Mm-hmm.
get bed, you gonna hold that bag real tight. Don't
Oh,
put those
baby. Yes,
eggs
ma'am.
on top. Treat my heart like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I told his father something that I felt in my spirit, like,
Mm-hmm.
man, if we don't correct that, we're gonna lose our son. And if I lose my sons, I'm telling you this, I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming for you. Violent.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was fighting for him because I felt that. I felt that
You
like
felt that spirit on him.
I felt that spirit. I said, it's time for him to come to me.
Mm-hmm.
You are a great father. You showed him what it was, but it's time for him to
Financially.
that was it. And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate him for that.
Mm-hmm.
Never, I
Mm-hmm.
would never take the father thing. But he can't teach what a woman need to teach him. I
Yeah,
can't teach
that
him what
emotional part
oh
that,
no.
because it sounds like you're telling me that your son was kind of militant. He kind of acted like
He
emotionless.
was blank. He was
Wow.
blank. He
That
was
that had to be hard for you to take in as a mother. Like, wow, there's no way to get through to
at the
you.
age of 16, a teenager. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It was. It drained me. It drained
Mm-hmm.
me. I was just a newlywed at this time because I found another love in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So
Congratulations.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had to talk to my new fiance. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, he was only around us for 2 years, come to visit us in the summertime. What you
Mm-hmm.
think if, it was just a talk. What you think if I permanently get? He's like, I support you. And
Oh,
I
that
left.
was a big step because you guys
That
had
was
just
a
got
big
married,
step.
huh?
Yeah, because after he left to go back home and said, I calmed down and thought about that. I said, I think it's just time for him to come with me
Like, I
because
need my son now.
he need me and I need him right now.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the father was so, no, no, he's my only child. I need him. I said, but you don't see what I see on him as a mother, as a
Mm-hmm.
woman. You
That's
don't
right.
see that. And I let it be. I said, you know what? Okay. X, Y, and Z. Now it's a new year. I get this phone call. Hey, mom, I got in trouble. Oh, and
Mhm.
I was so calm about it. Oh, you did. Like I said, I felt something, but I knew it was gonna come knock at my door. So I was
Right.
like, okay, what it was. He had to be handed, and his father had to be handed. I said, well, since he's suspended for the rest of the school year, he might as well come
Hmm.
here early. But
Yeah,
that
yeah.
this dream said, now this is time for that fight. I'm like, that fight. Oh,
Hmm.
what fight is this? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
I know I'm a fighter,
But I ain't never
physically,
fought nothing like this.
not like this, because I really don't know what's ahead of me. I just know it's time for that fight. So he
Got
come
you.
up here looking a hot mess. I'm talking to him, but it was true because he haven't been around me, so he didn't understand
He didn't
how
understand
I'm
you. Yeah.
from, and I
Hmm.
didn't understand him. So we both
Hmm.
in two foreign language.
Okay.
Both was speaking two different foreign language. I didn't know his love language, and he didn't know my love language.
Hmm.
So he stayed up here. Now it's time for him to go to court. Now for us to face what really happened because nobody's not telling me the full God truth.
Hmm.
So now I'm up there fighting for him to come stay with me and found out the whole truth. It broke my heart
Wow. Wow.
because he was dealing with something that my generation was dealing with, and it hits him.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Certain things
And he
hit.
was in a whole nother household. He hadn't been brought up with you, right?
No, he didn't know about God. He didn't know about
Wow. That shows you how deep the spirit is. Like, if
that
that
spirit.
could hit him in a whole nother household,
Yes,
that's
it did.
crazy.
It's gonna hit
Wow.
one out. It was hit. It's gonna, like I said, if it missed one generation, it's gonna hit another generation.
Hmm.
So it hit him. And it
Hmm.
was like, well, now it was like it's clicking to me. It's time for me to fight. You don't even know how to handle this fight, Nina. That's
Hmm.
why I didn't allow him to come with you when you was praying about it when I told you not this year. And I was
Right.
upset to God about why you mean not this year. Now see now.
Hmm.
It wasn't time for that fight because if he would have came that year, I would have been like, I'm chilling. Let's get us a little mimosa.
You
But
wouldn't been so spiritually inclined to help him through
yes,
that process.
so it was a fight. So I fight it. Even to get to know him, we went through 3 or 4 therapy, but that last therapy, oh my gosh, she broke it down to me and to my son. She said, once I'm done with both of y'all gonna know each other love language. I said, how does this lady
Wow.
in my prayer?
Hmm.
Y'all both gonna know each other love language. You gonna know how to handle your black son, and he gonna know how to
Mm.
black mama.
Yeah, because our black men has, it's like they come in with an automatic disadvantage. And so us as mothers, we have to be like at the front of them to be their protectors sometimes and get them back on track, so that they
Yeah,
won't go out
but
here
all the
and
yelling and screaming, it's not worth it.
yeah, that's true. It
Worth
doesn't
it.
really get through to boys at a certain age. They look at you like,
Yeah, you gotta
okay.
hit them in that chest,
Hmm.
put your foot on their neck.
They look at you like, okay. And after you get done yelling, I'm still gonna go do what you saying not to do.
I'm gonna still do what I'm gonna do, okay? And I'm gonna still walk slow. Why you rushing me?
Oh God, they will ask you that. Why are you rushing me?
Why you rush? Why you don't gotta yell. I hear
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
Bella.
that's true.
And I just and he was junior in high school, so he had a
Hmm.
difficult up here in the beginning, and I had a difficult too. It was difficult
Mm.
too because I didn't
Right.
understand him, he didn't understand me.
Hmm.
It was a fight, and now it's senior year crunch time because
Hmm.
it was crunch time, so he didn't have a teenage life. He didn't
Hmm.
have a teenage life, and I didn't have a life because I was breaking things that his father was teach the way his father teach him.
Mm.
He didn't know how to mow the lawn. He didn't know how to
Mm.
he didn't know how to cook for himself. He didn't know how to
Hmm.
wash clothes. It
Hmm.
was a lot.
Wow. Hmm.
And he was trauma. I seen trauma on him too.
Hmm.
I was like, wow, what is I'm really dealing with?
Hmm.
And when he went to therapy, it was hard for the therapy lady to get to him. So one day I couldn't take it no more. I cried out to God, and God said, "Go in there, talk to him." And this time, when you talk, you say one paragraph, period, and let him finish it. Don't keep talking because the more you talk, it's like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah. Hmm.
So I came at him and said, It's been a whole year. Have God bless you with anything this year?
Wow. You asked your 16-year-old this.
Ask my 16-year-old that.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
nope. I said, wow. You know, and I said other stuff, but I think that little one question
It
did
resonate with him. Yeah.
it resonate to him. After that, I started seeing him giving a care.
Okay. Yeah.
He started caring.
So
He
you
grabbed
saying sometimes we just need to, instead of raw at our kids, we have to come at them in a way of that side by side talk.
that's that. Sometimes shut up. We talk too much.
Yeah, yeah. You become like a broken record to them.
Yeah. Say
Hmm.
say a question, period. Now answer it.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
don't give them no. You know when you do the you just don't know how to you don't to them they probably like I don't know the right words to say what I'm feeling. But
Hmm.
it's like no, just say it.
So give them that safe space to come to you as a parent.
That's safe space because I didn't know what safe space was. I know I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. That's true.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
whoop your I'm gonna whoop you.
Hmm.
I had to learn all I don't have to always put my hands on you.
Hmm.
And then sometimes you're like, oh, I'm just gonna take away. You could take away, and they still don't got it. They still, I don't care.
They don't care about that. They'll give it to you. Yeah, here you go. I already know what you're gonna do.
I don't care. So I just told him, I was like, this charge they try to put on you, the enemy, this charge this enemy was trying to put on you. I ain't gonna say
Hmm.
the enemy was trying to put on you, or the enemy was trying to take your identity from you.
Hmm.
Bind it up in the blood of Jesus. He
Yes,
will
yes.
not get my child. He would not say these words. These people would not put this tight on you because that ain't you. So I had to change my prayer life then.
Wow. Okay.
So that
So
was the
this when
season.
God really started working on you.
Oh, girl, please. He wasn't done with me yet.
Ooh, I
He
heard you
was
say
done.
earlier, you said you was a newlywed. How has your marriage shaped the person you are today?
Well, I'm gonna say when I was oh Jesus, how can I say that? Marriage is a beautiful thing that God created. But sometimes when you in level three and your husband is in level one, as God has elevated you some way, somehow you lose,
Hmm.
I lose.
That
It's some
connection, yeah.
that connection. It's not being
Hmm.
mean or rude.
Yeah.
It's my husband was brought up totally different the way I was brought up. When
Mm. So was it like a cultural difference, or what was it like, far as
say
just everyday
it was
things?
it was culture different. It was very culture different. It
Hmm.
was very culture different.
Hmm.
Because people think because you're going outside your race, and this is my opinion. Everybody don't have to agree with this. It's my
Hmm.
opinion. You're going outside your race. At least let that race at least know a little about your race. If they don't know
Hmm.
nothing
Or
about your
your
race,
upbringing.
your upbringing, they would
Hmm.
never understand certain parts of you, or you
Right.
understand certain parts of them.
Okay. Oh, so you're in an interracial relationship?
Yes, first time
Okay.
ever. It's still a beautiful thing, but right
Right.
now, just God just got us on this divine separation right now.
Okay. Okay.
Because I idolize my husband, so we're gonna go there now.
Mhm.